I'm Carolyn DeLucia, Sarah DeLucia's mom, and she wants me to tell my story. So, I believe that my story is a story of tragedy to triumph, because I grew up with two alcoholic parents. My childhood was actually unbearable. Today, I could say with my heart that anybody who is going through a really bad life or bad times in anything, that they can pull through it and have a good life and be happy with the proper help. It's important to find the proper help. I did. It took a long time, but I found the right counselors. But I was telling Sarah that when I was little, I used to walk out of my home to go to friends' houses, and I used to walk up the block, and I'd say to myself, I'd be so depressed, and I'd say, how am I ever going to get through this? Because my parents would be fighting, the cops would be there, would be violent, and it made me really sad for me and my sisters. I couldn't tell my friends. I would just keep it to myself, and I'd be walking up the block, and I would say to myself, how am I ever going to get through this? And something inside of me, it's almost like God reached down inside like a light, something happy I would feel inside. It would give me hope, and I'd get the thoughts that one day you're going to get the right help and you're going to be okay. And I held on to that I was going to get help one day. I will find the right people to help me get through what I was going through and have a good life. And I believe that. So in my teenage years, I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't have the proper guidance, but I did have good friendships. I had a good job in real estate, and I always held on to the hope that I'd be okay somehow, some way. I went through a lot of tragedies. I lost a boyfriend to murder. He was murdered, my first love. A lot of sadness and tragedy. One day I was walking out of the apartment with my mom, and I was going out with friends, and I just looked up one night, and I looked up to God, and I said, God, please send me somebody who is just like me, who doesn't want to play games and just want a nice life. And I really didn't have God in my life. I didn't grow up with faith. We didn't have God. I believe that's why our home life was so dark and despairing. So a few weeks later, I met Dad, and he accepted me for exactly who I was. I didn't have to hide from him the shame, my family life, and he just loved me. And we got married. I found the right counselor after many counselors. It took a long time, but I did find a good counselor that I can trust. And she helped me to learn how I was raised in the proper place in my mind, and how to create a good life. And she taught me the qualities of a good mother. And I had children. My daughter Sarah is my heart. I love my daughter Sarah. She's always been my heart. She's a good girl, and she reminds me of my favorite Aunt Pat.
The first person who gets the head wins. I got you almost.
Okay, but right. So I worked hard to do what my mother did. My mother drank every day. I didn't drink. She wouldn't, I keep the house nice. I keep the home nice. I go to church. My counselor said the way to get over the bad memories is to create good memories, to replace the bad memories. So that's what I did daily. And I had an open door where, for my children's friends, where my mother would not allow our friends in the home. All of these changes made a better life and hope and happiness for me. And I don't drink today. I don't do drugs. I go to church, and I'm grateful for my counselor, for my husband, for my family. And you can get through any kind of tragedy, shame, anything bad that you think that your life, is involved in. You can change the road you're on and have a better life. So that's part of my story.